What's up, everybody? We're going to be talking to some really cool guys here. We got Alan and Scott in the house from Roseblood. I'd pull you guys right in because and I'm not going to read what you guys said in the private chat because uh, you guys are
It's
here
probably for the
representing
best.
Yeah,
Bad
definitely
Bug,
for the best.
representing Bad Bug, talking to us a little bit about Roseblood.
We're probably the
First of
two
all,
worst people for that job. We're the B
right.
string.
Oh, you made a grave mistake today.
Yeah.
Alan, I already know you. I'm not going to come to you first, but I
Thank
want
you.
to talk to Scott because I don't think we've been introduced in this way. We've been Facebook friends for
No.
quite a while.
Yeah.
But man, talk to me a little bit about what you do and how we know you.
Yeah. Sorry, I had a beard hair in my mouth.
I swear it
You
wasn't me. We didn't
probably
do anything before the show. I swear.
yeah. You probably know me because of the marvelous Mike Teener. He's really helped me push forward in the comic kind of community. So I've done Dead End Moon now, Undercity Tales, Hypergeist. My own title back there, Legend of Everforge, is what I started with. Periwinkle. And then I also write for About Time Comics, which I do Red Scare. And then I got some new stuff coming down the pipeline, Cupid, Monster World, and Bobby Joe, Appalachian Extraterrestrial Exterminator. We got to
don't even know the
revamp that
title of it.
Yeah, it's too long, and we got to workshop that one. But yeah, 2023 is going to be a big year for Bad Bug and for Mike and I. So yeah, that's probably how you've heard of me at this point.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Alan, please, for those who don't know you yet, please give them a small introduction.
I'm Alan. I'm the co-writer and creator of Pocus Hocus, Grandma Chainsaw, and other books you've never read. Yeah, and that's really about it. We're responsible for creating a demonic pink rabbit that everyone loves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic, great. But we're here to talk a little bit about Roseblood, and I want you guys, Alan, can you give me a quick rundown of what Roseblood is? Because when I heard about this was kind of a cool idea, and then when I read some of the work that you guys have inside, it made me very, very excited. But tell everybody a little bit about what Roseblood Manor is.
Yeah, so Roseblood is Bad Bug's first anthology series, and it just takes place any space and time, and that is Roseblood Manor. And it has an overarching story that Scott will definitely dive into here in a little bit. So we have a frame narrative, and it ties into the three stories that are with it. So really, there's kind of four stories altogether with it. But yeah, it's just a blast, and it's it's wild to say the least.
That's fantastic. Scott, tell me a little bit more. You said you had a little bit more. You wanted to go a little bit further into that. Talk to us.
Yeah, I think, geez, it was probably June, July. Mike brought the idea to the group that, doing a haunted house story. So the idea, I mean, the haunted house story is kind of an overexplored trope. So you hesitant, but the idea then became a group. It blossomed into this house can go anywhere, be anything. And then I think it sparked all of our interests. So we kind of just ran from July to now running on this thing. We've knocked out the frame. John MacLeod and Mike kind of constructed the frame narrative. And then they asked me to jump in just to kind of flesh out bedazzle it, so to speak. And then I was working on a short, and then Alan was working on a short, and then Chris Jerome was working on another short as well for it. And we kind of built the frame around the shorts as we got them, which I think was oddly the right choice, especially for this first story. So then, yeah, it just kind of blossomed from there. And yeah, the frames now, the way the frame's constructed and the way the shorts are constructed, it actually kind of elevates each short, elevates the frame one by one. So it was very serendipitous how it all came together, but I think the end product's pretty awesome.
Does Roseblood have a log line for like what? Because it's an anthology, but there's something that's going on with this manor, right? And this family that owns the manor. So talk to me a little bit about that, Alan.
Yeah. So Roseblood, Scott, who constructed Evelyn?
I think that was Mike.
Okay, so yeah, we kind of have our hostess Evelyn, right? And she's man, I don't even know how would you explain her. She's kind of like the Elvira of the whole
Elvira,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
Okay.
the easiest. It's the Crypt
yeah,
Keeper from Tales of the Crypt, like a
Yeah.
mhm,
sexier version.
yeah, just a little bit, right? I
Yeah,
don't know. Crypt Keeper's pretty hot. I'll give him that.
yeah, right.
I don't know, man. He doesn't have arms like Alan, so I mean,
It's true. Beefcake, yeah,
I, I
for
I
sure.
told Alan one time, I was like, dude, I'm going to find a way to work in your arms into every single live stream, and I have at this point.
You need
Ongoing
to.
thing.
They deserve center stage.
They deserve their own comic book. God.
Oh,
All
man.
right, I'm leaving. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, that's what we're here
Uh,
for, to talk about Alan's arms.
yeah.
No, man. I love the frame, right, of this whole thing. You know, you guys have this mystery behind this manor and the different stories that kind of interact with this thing. Scott, tell me a little bit about your story within this book.
Yeah, mine I think was probably the first to finish. So like I came before prompts were created. Because again, like Mike kind of threw this idea on me in June, July. So I started playing around because he said that the house can be anywhere and become anything. So mine jumped into what if it could manipulate itself and become like a dive motel type of thing for a guy who was down on his luck, needed a cheap place to stay so he could hook up with a webcam model. So that's
the usual
of course
stuff,
my
right?
mind goes there. Yeah. You know, write what you know. So mine's really about a guy again, just down on his luck, out of money. He's trying to meet up with a lady.
Yep.
And the manor presents itself as a by the hour motel. And then very Shining kind of inspired, moving from there, kind of delving into his own self-absorbedness, and what that kind of the punishment for that.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's mine in a nutshell without trying to give too much away on it.
Mhm.
Alan, tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, so whenever Mike first gave the prompts out, he kind of gave like a pick three, and the prompts that I picked were endless stare, black painting, and Jonathan, and that's kind of how we made the Wandering Man, and it's about a painter, an aristocratic painter who bites off a little bit more than he can chew with his latest purchase.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic. Um, uh, Alan, do you have the campaign pulled up?
Yeah, I'll send it right over to you.
Yeah, I'll let you pull that up and I'll let you present that so that we can take a look at the campaign here a little bit.
Okay,
Because
great.
it's actually a really cool campaign, and just like Bad Bug does, they have all kinds of cool covers, right? They also have the naughty and nice covers like always. But and there's a third story in there. Do you guys know a little bit about the third story within there? Scott, you're shaking your head. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go to you.
Yeah, this one's
Yeah.
Roadkill. Yep.
Roadkill, yeah, by our good buddy Chris Jerome, very talented writer, does Discordia. But his story centers around a less than scrupulous sheriff, who delves into some rather more unscrupulous practices with his inmates, and then is discovered and kind of the punishment for that. So,
Wow, cool.
Okay, so yeah, tapping over here. This is the campaign. 11 days to go. $5,000 goal. Obviously, judging by this huge banner here, funded in 4 hours.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. Outport, and it was crazy because we hit that with only like 70 backers.
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, it was wild.
That is wild.
Yeah. But yes, we're sitting at 16,000, a little over. And yep, again, 11 days to go. So we're obviously always trying to aim for them to get bigger and bigger with each campaign, and we're all challenging ourselves. So we already have kids always update your graphics, but we already have 3 of the stretch goals unlocked. And it seems like everyone's kind of banding together to work really hard on getting the 150 project comments unlocked. Scott, can you kind of tell me the genesis of the two-headed cat? It was just drawn by Summer, right?
I believe, yeah. So and Summerdale, I mean, she's hopefully I'm pronouncing her last name correct. I don't know if it's Dale or Dale, but Summer's an
No, we're
amazingly
gonna say Dale now.
talented artist, exactly. But she's just freaking. I mean, if you've seen any of her other work, she's insane. And Mike, thankfully, has a good working relationship with her, so we get to utilize her in a lot of our campaigns. And she ran with the ghost cat. I think she's the genesis of. She's a genesis of a lot of the stuff you'll find within Roseblood Manor as well, which is kind of unfair that she's a talented artist and a talented like writer creator. But yeah, she's
because Scott, we're barely even any
we're
of those.
barely in the writing category. I can draw stick figures, but that's about it.
Oh God! So and of course, t-shirts. I think again, Summer designed the t-shirt. Yeah, she did. There it is.
In like a weekend too. Yeah, that's like a weekend design for her.
It's like, oh my God.
That's so cool. Yeah, I was looking at that design and I said, oh, this is so cool because it's a silhouette of the cat, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. It's so cool. It's very, very, very cool. Very cool. Cool. And you guys this is the cover A, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is we'll get into it once we get down a little bit further, but yeah, so you can see right here all the names that are attached to it. There's a lot of people in this book.
Yeah,
a lot of very talented people.
Awesome people. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. 40 pages of creepy fun. So this was something that whenever we were first constructing this, they kind of asked, what does this remind you of? And, and I think that's where this comes in. Who's this for, right? Fans of American Horror Stories, Tales from the Crypt, Twilight Zone, Creep Show, Tales from the Dark Side.
Yeah.
It's just, it just kind of goes on and on when you really think about it. Mm-hmm. Just, it's fun. It is just, I don't know. I love anthologies anyway. Twilight Zone is one of my favorite shows. And this was something new. I think I'm seeing more and more people start to do this. A day one exclusive.
Yeah. Okay.
Joey, are you seeing any of this in your campaigns that you're running?
Yeah. We actually had one for Bixby Grant. We had a day one campaign, but it was more of like an early bird. You got it for super cheap. But
gotcha.
I'm seeing more people do this kind of thing where they offer like one specialty cover or one specialty like metal print or something like that, and you can only get it on day one.
Right.
So it's really popular. It's a cool thing to do, especially if you were running campaigns to do something to step out of the box a little bit. So a very cool idea.
Okay, so Scott, do you want to go ahead and cover these now? Because your name is attached to half of these.
Yeah, Mama's Boy. Again, it was born out of Mike and John's idea. So they sculpted out the narrative, the frame. Then we threw it to kind of a focus group that we had with running within the Bad Bug chat. And Summer was actually the one that pointed out. She's like, I really don't feel anything for this lead character, and we were like closing in on like
vastly different, right?
Yeah. It was just more generic, kind of like open-ended. Summer's like, I don't really care about his ending, and we were approaching our Kickstarter launch date. So then
everyone's just in panic mode.
Essentially, Mike said those dreaded words. He's like, let's just push it off. And we're like, shit, no.
No.
We're like, we're not doing that. When Tina says to delay something, it's bad. Yep. So then I was like, hey guys, hold on. I think it just needs some bedazzlement.
So that was something we went back and forth with too, because we didn't want to miss the Halloween window. And we had to like shake Mike to be like, dude, we can't miss this. Like, I don't know what you're thinking right now.
By Tuesday, we're going to be in Christmas mode. So I'm like, bro, we gotta launch early in October.
Alan's already in Christmas mode. He was talking to me earlier and said that they already have their Christmas tree up.
Yep.
So,
nice. Good job.
And he had to pick me off the phone so that they could put on their star. So
I'm proud of you, Alan. Good job.
Thank you.
Dude, as soon as you said that, my wife looked at me. Her eyes got big. She's like, "We can put it up." I said, "No, not yet." Okay, whatever. I can't.
That's why you got to do we started doing the Halloween tree. So I put that up in the beginning of October, and then I just switch out the lights. So
look at that, Scott, right there. Periwinkle's gonna overtake Claus is my favorite Christmas comic.
That's why I love Jay. I love Jay.
And then word of the day is bedazzle. Bedazzle is the word of the day.
And I said bedazzlement, so I double win on that one.
There we go, bedazzlement. That's the word. Pull quote. There we go.
So as far as Mama's Boy, I mean, just to sum it out, like I added in a few more pages to it. I mean, that's John and Mike's baby. I just added in some of the growth to the character Chuck's story, so I can't take too much credit. But
Cool.
Yeah, and then this is your full story here, Scott.
yeah, so desperate, lonely man again. Walter. That was another kind of critique from Summer. Like we all wrote like these middle-aged white men type of characters. But
Yeah, the thing, a bunch of white guys in their 30s all working on a book.
I know, yeah. right. What you know. So but yeah, mine's the only story that utilizes the cat because again, it was kind of born from the initial conversation with Mike. He was like, "Hey, I'm thinking of a ghost cat," and I'm like, "Oh, it could be like a scout for the house." He's like, "Oh yeah," and that's kind of what it became at that point. But it wasn't two-headed yet. Summer added that later, but
I love that.
it's a fun one. I hope. So
we have Jenna here, being a Scrooge on our Christmas parade here.
she should like she should like Periwinkle. It's very it's Christmas but not Christmas. So
that's awesome.
It's like Die Hard. So then then the next one we have Roadkill. Again, like Scott said, this is Chris's story, and it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the big thing with every story. It's fun.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't fun, then I think we all would be missing the mark pretty bad, right?
True.
I think it came out pretty good.
Okay, and then this is the best story in the whole thing. This
really
is The Wandering Man.
No joke. Yeah.
No.
He's not letting that one down.
No, compared to these guys, I remember telling Mike, I was like, Mike, I'm pretty sure we missed the mark on it. But Mike's like, no, it's fine. It's okay, I promise.
Yeah.
You're the only one that actually followed, because like Mike came out with the prompts after Chris and I started stories. So like technically yours is the only one that follows the prompt.
But then in comparison, it looks like I didn't follow.
I love it because it actually created a formula for these books. So Alan, shout out to him and Will for essentially developing the formula for scripts moving or books moving forward. So
yeah, everybody keeps saying this that we need a Wandering Man or the Painter story. Alan.
Yeah, that would be tight.
We were talking about it last night on another show. Here's a little bit of a spoiler because it'll come out. It's on a podcast. It'll be coming out soon. We're trying to convince Alan to do an anthology with the Painter and tons of really creepy stories. So
I would read the hell out of that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. It's funny because it's like, whenever you're working on this stuff and you don't really think about these characters because this is my first time doing an anthology or a short story like this. And I'm just happy with how it turned out because I think Scott, you and I both fall victim to this. We really focus hard on character development, and it's so hard to make your characters 3-dimensional in 8 pages. I feel like because you can't have like the rise and fall of a villain. You can't have a character really try to change his motives. I mean, you can, but it's not as dynamic of a shift because you don't get to know them. I feel like as you do in like a 28 pager. This thing's only 8 pages. And I went back and forth just trying to figure out how we could capture them. And I was like, to hell with it. We're just going to make them one-dimensional. And I think it turned out fine.
I love this character design, right? This character design is the snake oil salesman that comes in with his cart of goods and he's there for maybe about a week and then he's gone, right? And then later on you find out everybody pretty much got screwed by the guy, right? Yeah. So that's what this is, and it's perfect.
And two, I mean, don't let that. I think Alan does a disservice to his own work because I think what he's constructed, and Will too, like constructed with just a few lines of dialogue, can paint enough of a picture, no pun intended, in this story that you don't need 10 pages of exposition to understand this guy is a douche nozzle. This guy He is deception, Bill. And I think too, the other part, and like I don't, I won't boast Alan too much. I don't want to. Like,
Yeah,
crazy,
I can barely
but,
fit my head between these two headphones.
Is that he subverts expectations, because I've been a fortunate few that have gotten to read like scripts early. So I got to read like Grandma Chainsaw early. I got to read Pocus Hocus, some of those scripts early, and it's not doing what you expect, and it's like that's fresh. Like reading Grandma Chainsaw the first couple pages, I'm like, this is what it's gonna do, and then he doesn't do it, and I'm like, holy shiz, that's awesome. Like that's genius, and like I don't often get that. Like, oh, he went there, and I'm like, so it's like that's nice, it's fresh, it's like Wandering Man. Like you're like, I'm not. Oh, he went there. So again, it's a lot of credit where credit is due.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So let's deflate his head here a little bit.
No, but so the one thing I do like about Roseblood Manor, aside from all the stories and all the great talent that's on here, is I think what you see in a lot of anthologies, it's, hey, let's go and just get all these people together, and let's just have them create a short story. Here's the premise, or this is the title of the book, what we're going for. So you guys just give us it, and then we'll just compact it all together. But what Scott and John did, they took it and ran the extra mile with the frame narrative of making everything intertwined together, and the stories just breathe that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, to me, that's the stuff that I love. And that's what really gives us the Elvira feel, Tales from the Crypt. So then, when the story's done, we're pulled out of the story, but we're not fully out yet because we still have to go back in for more.
That's a good way to say it. Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool. And let's see some of the covers.
Oh, here we go. Scott, you want to talk about this?
That's all Teener. Teener knows how to like get the right connections, but he met up with Dizzy. And I mean they did Vanya now. This is their second collab. She's great. She's fun. I mean, the fact that I think they built that book, the costume, all within like a short period of time. To be honest,
it was like 2 hours. I felt like.
It felt like that. Yeah, she's great though. She's fun.
That's great.
It's Vanya was a big hit, so
she understood the assignment.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she knew what was needed. And then
looks
of course,
like it.
Fun covers.
Limited metal covers here. I think these have sold very well. And then of course Summer just killing it here. I love this one, the one on the right, so much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I bet that light though on the left one is gonna look so dope with the holofoil though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It looks so good. Yeah.
Now this right here was the
blood
huge
foil.
One. Yeah.
Listen. When I saw that on there, I said, you know what? If this was Teener's idea, dude, freaking genius.
Well, Mike's not here, so Scott and I did. This was the idea.
I told him to do blood, and he was like, good
and then he messaged me and he said, Alan, Scott said to do blood, and I said, yeah, I told Scott to tell you that. So that's how this idea.
Good. Then that's I'm gonna give you guys the credit. That's your credit. Awesome.
God.
It's a good listen. Look at this is really freaking cool, and it's gonna pop real nice.
Yeah, it's just and it fits the theme, right?
Yeah,
it's gonna pop.
Okay, cool. Cover A. All these are gonna have nice and naughty to them. Cover B.
I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you got it, you got it, right?
Bedazzled. It's bedazzled to hell. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cover D.
I will say something nice about Teener while he's not here. That I think his strongest talent is knowing good artists and then pairing artists with colorists.
The right colorists. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's got the unseen that I've experienced in the indie community. He has an extreme knack for finding the right combos. So. But that's it. That's all I'm saying about it.
How many colorists do you have on this one book?
Oh my God! Well, if you count the covers,
yeah,
right?
Too many.
There's honest to God, there's probably like 15 to 20 colorists altogether.
Wow, easily,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you think about it.
That's amazing, and that's a lot of people to know and have faith in to do all this work, right? Seriously, that's a lot of people to have faith in.
because there's like what 26 cover options essentially.
Hang
I
on,
mean, if you start knocking in the
Oh my gosh, you're on J. I thought we were done.
no, dude.
Yeah,
H-I,
right?
and then now we're on J.
Oh, he's like, okay. Now this is
Teener
Z.
has an addiction. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
now that
got-
we're on J, shout out to Jay Burns. So it was funny because Mike kept sending us covers, and we're like, okay, cool, this is it. And then he would send us another one. We're like, okay, cool, this is it. And then we would get 10 more. And we're like, okay, cool, this is it. And then we got Lizzie's thing.
Oh
And we're
my
like, oh, okay, cool, this is it. And then he just kept sending us.
That's
Oh my gosh. And I
honestly
think you said,
true.
Alan, you sent me like a handful of them. I was like, oh my gosh, like 5 covers, that's a lot. And then now I'm looking through this. It's not just 5 covers.
We're on K, baby.
He's got a problem.
goodness.
He's got a problem.
I actually really like this
There's-
cover.
There's
a lot,
actually,
yeah.
crazily enough, there's more than this that he's now saving for number 2. So
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
he had so many
Wow.
that he had to save
Wow.
it for number 2. Okay, cool. Okay, now we're out of print. All right,
Now
thank
we're,
God.
now
All
we're
right.
done. All right.
All right.
And
Okay.
what's cool is you can, I mean, nobody likes recycling, but you can always use things that you
Yeah.
like. There's always those rejections that you didn't use for a thing. You're like, ooh, I could probably use that for something different.
Yeah.
that's
So
a good idea.
there's a solid amount of tiers on here, just given the nature of how many covers there are.
Mhm. Yeah.
But each nice cover is what, $18, Scott, I believe, and then
Yeah.
each naughty cover is $25. But then of course there's the big bundles that you get with all the nice covers, all the naughty covers, and then of course this one's already all gone. My God. It's the $475 tier, which is one
nice.
of every cover. Yeah, and then all the hollow foils too.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow.
So I think that's what set us over on day one in the 4-hour
cool.
span. But I do have a trailer for this. This is by the same gentleman who we all work with. He did
Yeah,
the Grandma Chainsaw trailer, Pocus
I have it-
trailer.
have it
Yep.
queued up. You want me to play it?
Oh yeah, if you already got it ready, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I've got it ready here. Let's go ahead and play it. Here we go.
Roseblood Manor, home to many a dark tale. Many a lost soul has entered this place. I can't recall if they ever leave. If only these walls could talk instead of screaming.
I love those trailers
Yeah.
so much.
See,
I
usually
know.
Jared likes to put credits at the end of it, but that trailer would have been probably 2.5 minutes longer if he had to put credits for everybody that was involved.
Yeah,
Right.
I like that one. That's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this is Roseblood Manor,
Yeah.
and it is a fun wild ride. If you guys are into anthologies in general, horror stories, short stories, this is kind of it, and especially I think we're honestly just about done with it, aren't we? All together, because I know Wandering Man's finished. Scott's
Yeah.
book's almost done.
Yeah.
Chris's book's almost done, and the frame narrative's almost done too. Now I think about it. Yeah, we're just
Very
waiting
cool.
on Dave. Ugh.
Oh,
Oh,
damn.
Dave.
Classic Lens.
I
Oh,
know.
man.
We're always waiting on him.
Yeah. Again, though, shout out to Dave because anthologies are not an easy undertaking.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Just because there's a lot, and he's doing it very well and navigating it with ease, and he's frustrating. So
Frustratingly amazing because
Yeah.
that guy, freaking the amount of talent that comes out of that guy's nose.
I
it's
know.
insane.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
insane. Yeah, well, thank you guys for hanging out with me and talking with me about Roseblood. I wish we had Tina here. We can talk to him a little bit about it. I mean, this is not the end of Bad Bug. We got so much more coming from you guys. Scott, please let everybody know where they can find you on social media and all that good stuff, and when your next project is going to be coming out, man. If you got something in the pipeline.
Yeah, man. I'm on Twitter, Swilky_smooth. I'm
That's
on
the best name,
Facebook.
by the way. It's so good.
I had to capitalize on it. I'm on Facebook, just Scott Wilke. Twitter, I think Scott Wilke 24. I got Periwinkle's finishing up here shortly, so you should be seeing that on your store shelf soon. I got Bobby Joe coming out next year. Monster World's coming out next year. Hypergeist 2 is coming out next year. Dead and Moon 3 is coming out next year. There's just a lot, so I'm gonna be annoying as hell in 2023.
Very cool. And Alan, let everybody know where they can find you and what's coming up for you guys at Top Hat.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at Chaps of Fury. Now, the best way to really follow us is just obviously following us on Kickstarter, just because we're always going to have a ton of stuff coming out, and following us on our newsletter. The top, it's on Substack. It's thetophatstudios.substack.com because for some reason Top Hat Studios was already taken. Those jerks. But so for next year, we got Pocus Hocus. The second arc of that starts, so we have 2-1, and then Grandma Chainsaw 2, and then Pocus Hocus 2-2, and then Grandma Chainsaw 3, and then we're just gonna fit in some other fun short stories that we're all working on. I'm keeping Brian and Jason and Dave and Will busy. So.
Yeah. And
Nice.
Alan, if you want that Top Hat Studios name back, we'll talk about it and I'll sell it back to you.
Okay, there you go. Thank you.
Thank you guys for hanging out with me. You can find me at Joey Galvez 1984, and you can find Geek Collective at geekcollective.net. We are a public relations and a podcast network. So if you're a podcaster and you're looking for some hosting, hit us up. Comic book creators, we'll do some really cool stuff with your campaigns. So please hit us up. And Alan, Scott, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. And make sure you guys are going out there and kickstart this on Kickstarter for Roseblood Manor. Make sure you're pledging something very cool, because there's all kinds of really gorgeous covers for somebody out there. Thanks again, guys. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.